Welcome back to STC, guys. Today we're going to talk about another talk, and yes, if you did just watch the last video, I am wearing the same shirt, and that is because I am recording multiple videos in a row, and that is because I can. Anyway, so, we're talking about a talk today, and it's called Watchful unto Prayer Continually. It's by Elder Bednar, and he gave it in the October 2019 General Conference, which is what we're currently going through. If you're not aware of that, there is a playlist somewhere. It'll be at the end of the video. I know that for sure. And Elder Bednar gave this absolutely fantastic talk. It is the one where he talks about cheetahs being similar to Satan and his minions, right? And it was funny because I actually knew some people that were really kind of sad about this talk in a way, because they were like, I really like cheetahs. Cheetahs are cute and they're nice animals, which is totally true. If you've ever seen a cheetah in person, they're like giant house cats. They're kind of adorable. Anyway, but what he talks about is that cheetahs are very, very careful. And he and his wife were in Africa, and they were watching some cheetahs on a savanna, and the cheetahs were they were hunting a group of animals called topi, which is, I believe it's a large antelope, he says. And what the cheetahs would do is they would wait in the grass about 100 meters apart, and one would crawl forward, and then it would go down and the other one would come up at the same time, right? And then this one would crawl forward, and then they would switch, and then this one would crawl forward, and then they would switch, right? Okay. And they watched him do this for like several hours, and so he compared this to the way that Satan works, and we're going to talk about this. I think it's very, very interesting, and I think it's interesting what the topis did, because the topis had first off, they would always run away when the cheetahs got too close, which I think is funny. And then so the cheetahs really, I mean, I'm sure it works occasionally because otherwise they wouldn't be doing it, but for the most part, it really didn't work. And the topis also, they had watch topis, like the older, stronger ones. They were up on like these little mounds. They were up on the termite mounds, and they were watching to see where the people, or where the cheetahs were, and then through some sort of unknown signal, at least unknown to Elder Bednar, they would signal all the other topis, and they would all run away, and then the cheetahs would have to start over again, and it's kind of funny. But what I thought was interesting was the way that he compared it to Satan, because first off, Satan's very good at what he does. The cheetahs, for the most part, up until they get really, really close, weren't getting noticed, right? And I think a lot of times, up until Satan does a lot of like really horrible, horrible stuff and like gets people to do super bad stuff, we don't really notice him most of the time. You know, if you live in certain places, you kind of, like, maybe you don't participate in it, but you kind of forget about cursing because all your friends do it. It's just there. You know, if people are, you know, let's just say partaking in practices in which they should not partake, and that can cover all kinds of different fields. A lot of times we just don't notice these things because they get blended into society. Sometimes they're even viewed as good, which is horrifying, but completely understandable as well. Just by misunderstandings. And so he's really, really good at what he does. And that's sad to say, and I don't want to give him credit, but Satan's not stupid. He's just mean, and it's different. So the other thing is, and this is an odd thing to say, he's extremely super, super patient. He's very much like the cheetahs are. Satan, for the most part, has had pretty much the same tactics for all of history, right? And if you look at it, like, yeah, the circumstances under which he uses these tactics are different. The ways in which he makes us do things are different, but the lies are the same. You know, he's telling us, oh, it's going to be fine if you only do it once. Oh, it's okay, everybody else does it. You know, don't worry about it. It's okay, we'll do it later. All kinds of things. And I think, and I'm actually going to make a video right after this with a phenomenal story. So please stay tuned and watch the next video. And they're all numbered, so you can find it. I believe in you. But yeah, so he's really, really good at what he does. And anyway, so So he talks about in the talk the things that we need to do. So there are three different points that he hits, and I'm going to read them off real quick, and then I'm going to talk about some other stuff that's related to those. So the first one um, is beware of evil's beguiling spirits. So we really need to pay attention, I think, is the point. We need to watch for Satan, and we need to watch for the things that he's trying to get us to do, because they're bad things. Um, and if they're not horrible, horrible things, they're going to either get us to do worse things, or they're going to do bad things to us that will get us to do worse things, right? The intention is always to drive us in the wrong direction, even if that's slowly. Because as I said, he's generally patient. He wants a bad outcome. He doesn't matter how long it takes. The guy isn't alive anyway, so it doesn't matter. Um, then he says, stay awake and be alert. Spiritual complacency and thoughtlessness are very dangerous. Be watchful to the watchmen on the towers. The watchmen on the towers, of course, are the prophets. They're the ones that are receiving revelation for the large groups, for the entire church, and really, for all intents and purposes, for the entire world. And yeah, maybe people aren't listening, but if you go into the Old Testament and you look at the prophets, if you look at Moses and Jonah and Hosea and, Adam, Enoch, blah, 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 right? There are lots of them. Their revelation was never, or almost never, just for one group. It wasn't just for the chosen people. Yeah, Moses received the Ten Commandments for the Jews, but Moses received the Ten Commandments for everybody. It's just the Jews were the group of people that he was working with. And you see this later because of Jonah, right? Because Jonah's the greatest name ever. If you don't know, my name is Jonah. And I really never mentioned that here. That's weird. Anyway, and yeah, so he goes to other cities and he preaches to people that are not understanding the laws of God correctly. And he helps them to know, okay, this is what you need to do, because that's very, very important. Now, we need to listen to those prophets, right? Especially as members of the church, but definitely for other people too. You can benefit if you're just watching my channel and you happen to not be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You can benefit so much from what these men say, because yeah, there are one or two things that are specific to us, but there aren't. There pretty much aren't. It's basically stuff that anybody can participate in. Be kind to your neighbors, share with others, love others. And there are things that are specific to us that we do. We follow the law of chastity as it has been known for a long time. We have the word of wisdom, which is a health law. But here's the thing. Even if you're not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and you stop drinking alcohol and stop smoking, it's still good for you, right? There's no problem with that. So these things are intended to help people. The third thing is predators are always predators. I think this is interesting. This is a cool point, and I am kind of running out of time here, but I think this is a super, super cool point. Predators are always predators. Satan is always trying to hurt you. He has this very, very clever way of convincing people, no, it's not going to hurt you. That's going to be nice, right? Getting drunk on the weekend with your friends is going to be super, super fun. And yeah, maybe it'll be fun for a little bit, and then you do something stupid and you lose your relationship and you get in a fight with your friends and you spent a ton of money and you you drunk barfed on your friend's seat in their car, and then you have to pay $60 to get it shampooed, and then blah, 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 right? There's all kinds of stuff that goes into this that's just not good. And it seems like fun at the moment, but it's never fun in the end. He's always a predator. Even if it seems like fun in the moment, he's trying to get you to do something that's going to hurt you later, right? Or at least that's going to lead you on a path to doing things that'll get you hurt later. Let me pick in my notes for 2 seconds. We're going to hit one more thing, and then we're going to be out of here. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. So Satan always wants to use the thing that he doesn't have, right? He wants to use our bodies to get us to do stuff, which is terrible because our bodies are our most valuable tool, but they're also the one tool that he does not have. So we need to be paying attention even when we don't think there's anything to be paying attention to. If we don't think there's going to be anything interesting from the prophets, listen for the basic things. Pay attention to the basic things. That's extremely important, and I think we need to remember that. The other thing is that pay attention to the way that you use your body, whether that be the way that you consume food, the way that you consume media, the way that you put yourself out there in a physical manner. because there are restrictions on things, and there are heavenly restrictions on things, and we do need to pay attention to those, because those, just as Satan is always there to hurt us, God is always there to bless us. And so if there is a law, and we know this from previous videos and from previous discussions that we've had on this channel, if there is a law in place, it's to bless us, it's to help us, it's supposed to protect us. And we may not understand why right now, but that's okay, because we can understand why as we do it. We'll start to get that more. Anyway, thank you for joining me at SDC. I love you guys. I hope you subscribe, and I hope you share this channel with your friends so that we can all do stuff together. If you have comments on this, please leave them in the comments, because there's nowhere else that you can leave them. Haha. And I might throw stuff in future videos that people bring up. I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I bear my testimony of all the things that I said in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Bye, guys.